If you're considering to play your wildcard or free hit chip in game week 5, this is the video for you. Let's take a look at some possible teams. Let's start with the wildcard team, and if I were to use my wildcard in game week 5, I would go for Raya in goal. I know Arsenal don't have the best fixture in game week 5 playing against Man City, but from game week 7 and onwards, Arsenal, they have really good fixtures, so we might want at least two, maybe even 3 Arsenal players in our teams from game week 7. So if you're playing your wildcard at the moment, I think having at least one Arsenal player makes sense. My other goalkeeper is Dubravka. He is the only starting 4.0 option, so it makes sense having Dubravka as well. So in goal, Raya and Dubravka. In defense, I've gone for some mixed options, one 4.5, one 5 million and one 6 million option. So I'm starting with Williams. I still think that covering the Nottingham Forest defense makes sense. I think he is best value at the moment. Murillo, he is injured. Milenkovic is still an option at 5.5, but I definitely think that Williams at 5 million is solid. The next defender in this team is Van Dijk. I think that he is one of the best defenders to own at the moment. Nailed on to start every game for Liverpool. He is a big threat at set pieces, and he has shown that he can pick up defensive contribution points as well. So Van Dijk 6 million, I think that he is worth the price tag. The last defender in my starting 11, if I were to use my wildcard, is Richards, covering the Crystal Palace defense. They have been solid defensively, and Richards, he is really good value. As you can see in the graphics, I have 1.7 in the bank if I go for a team like this, so I can potentially upgrade to someone like Munoz if you're interested. But in defense, Williams, Van Dijk and Richards, and on the bench I have Senesi. I think that he is really good value as well. He's priced at 4.5, and Bournemouth, they have looked good so far this season. The last player in defense is Rodon. Can be Gudmundsson as well. He was a bit unlucky in game week 4 scoring an own goal, but he's priced at 4.0, and I think that both Rodon and Gudmundsson are equally good options. I'm going for Rodon. He picked up defensive contribution points in game week 4, and I think that he can continue delivering. Leeds were really close to pick up a new clean sheet in game week 4, a bit unlucky after this own goal, but I think that Leeds, their defenders priced at 4.0 are really good options. In midfield, I've gone for Semenyo. He actually took a penalty in game week 4. This was a big surprise. I was really sure that Evan Nilsson was going to take that penalty. I think Kluivert is probably still first in line, but when he's out injured, it looks like Semenyo is their next penalty taker. So Semenyo 7.4, really good value and had a really good start to the season. I think that he should be included on a wildcard. The next player is Bruno Fernandes. Not the best fixture in game week 5 playing against Chelsea, but he is the main man for Man United on most set pieces, including penalties. So even though he's priced at 9 million, I think that he is worth the upgrade from Mbumo. The next player is Kudus. Even though he blanked in game week 4, he looked good. He should have got a return in that game. So I think that Kudus is the best option from Spurs at the moment, and they have decent fixtures. I think they will score a lot of goals, and having Kudus, I think this is good on a game week 5 wildcard. The last player is a player that has really disappointed. 4 blanks in a row, both for Watkins and Rodgers, but the fixtures, they are so good for Aston Villa and Rodgers. Even though he hasn't scored or assisted in the Premier League so far, he has done well for England. He has looked good in the games for Aston Villa as well, so I think it's only a matter of time before Rodgers does something and delivers some FPL points as well. So in midfield, Semenyo, Bruno Fernandes, Kudus, Rodgers, mid-priced midfielders in this team. I know that Cole Palmer is back, so potentially you can squeeze Cole Palmer into this team. You need to downgrade someone on the bench like Arias. He can be king, the 4.5 Fulham midfielder, and you can upgrade Bruno Fernandes to Cole Palmer if you really think that Cole Palmer will do well going forward. But at the moment, I think this midfield looks really strong. As mentioned, on the bench we have Arias. He's kind of a punt. He hasn't really impressed so far, but he is a really good player. I watched him several times for Luminense. I think that considering the fixtures, Wolves, they have really good fixtures, and I think that at some point he will start delivering. So Arias, he is in. Of course, as mentioned, you can go for King 4.5 and save some money. This can let you upgrade, bring in Cole Palmer in midfield, but at the moment, I really like this team. And if you haven't bench boosted yet, this can potentially be a really good bench boost team as well. So Arias, he is in, and as mentioned, Senesi and Rodon is my other 2 players on the bench. Up front, I've gone for Erling Haaland. I think that the team looks better if you only have one of Mo Salah and Erling Haaland. I've gone for the Norwegian, even though the fixture is not the best in Game Week 5 playing against Arsenal, but I think that having Haaland is a good idea going forward. So the next player is Chris Wood. Can potentially bring in Gyökeres straight away. Arsenal, as mentioned, they have really good fixtures from game week 7, so I think that we potentially will triple up on Arsenal from that game week. But I think that having Chris Wood for game week 5, game week 6 is a good idea. He is nailed on for Nottingham Forest and he is their penalty taker, so I think that Chris Wood can do well in the next couple of game weeks. But I have 1.7 in the bank, so it's possible to upgrade to Gyökeres. The last player is João Pedro. Really good form, got an assist in game week 4 as well, so he looks nailed on for Chelsea at the moment. Cole Palmer is back. I think this potentially can help João Pedro even more, so I think that the safest option is to just have João Pedro in your team. So the front line for me on a wildcard is Erling Haaland, Chris Wood and João Pedro. Please let me know what you think of this team in the comments down below, and let's take a look at a potential free hit team for game week 5 as well. So on a free hit, I wouldn't pick Raya. Raya is a really good option going forward, but a game in game week 5 puts me off if I were to play my free hit. So Cells playing against Burnley is a better option in my opinion if you're playing your free hit chip. Dubravka, he is still on the bench as he is the only starting 4.0 option. In defense, I've gone for Pedro Porro 5.5. Spurs, they have actually impressed when it comes to their defensive ability compared to last season. So Pedro Porro is still on some set pieces. I know that the new signing, Xavi Simons, took some in game week 4, but I think that Pedro Porro is still a good FPL option. The next player is Van Dijk. As with the wildcard, Van Dijk is included. Good fixture for Liverpool defensively playing at home against Everton. So Van Dijk is in, and the last player is Anderson, the Fulham defender. He has been close to pick up defensive contribution points in every game week so far, and he has the potential to do this in game week 5 as well. He has attacking threat, so game week 5 can potentially be a good game week for Anderson playing at home against Brentford. On the bench, hopefully you will not need your bench while playing your free hit, but Rodon and Van de Ven, the hero from game week 4, scoring a goal, he is also in this team. In midfield, a bit different compared to my wildcard draft. I have Gibbs White in this one, fixture against Burnley. I think Gibbs White is one of the best options for game week 5. I wouldn't necessarily have him long term, but especially for game week 5, I think that Gibbs White is a good option. He putting a lot of crosses into the box and on some set pieces, so hopefully Gibbs White can deliver in game week 5. Next player is Rodgers. I talked about him while discussing the wildcard. He's looked good even though he blanked every game week so far, and the fixture is really good for Aston Villa in game week 5 playing against Sunderland. So hopefully Rodgers can do something. Kudus, I've discussed him as well, looked good in game week 4 even though he blanked, so hopefully he can get some FPL points in game week 5. The fixture is good playing against Brighton, and Spurs, they have looked good recently, so Kudus, he will be in my free hit team as well. 1.8 in the bank, so it's possible to upgrade Kudus to someone like Mbumo or Bruno Fernandes, but at the moment I think Kudus is a good option. In this team I have Mo Salah. He's not included in my wildcard draft, but especially for game week 5 I think that Mo Salah has the better fixture compared to Man City and Erling Haaland. So if I were to use my free hit, Mo Salah, he would be in. Arias is on the bench in this team as well. Same as with the wildcard, there is of course an option to downgrade Arias to King 4.5. This will give you more funds to upgrade the likes of Kudus, Rodgers, Gibbs White if you don't really fancy them. But I think this team is really strong at the moment. Gibbs White, Rodgers, Kudus, Mo Salah in midfield. But let's take a look at the forwards. One of the good things about playing your free hit in game week 5 is that you can avoid Arsenal and Man City, because they play against each other. So no Gyökeres, no Haaland in this team. I've gone for Watkins. I know a lot of FPL managers are really frustrated. Watkins owners are selling him. But I think that we actually should keep a bit more patience if you have Watkins in your team. The picture is really good for Aston Villa in game week 5. He's had some chances, been a bit unlucky. So Watkins, he would be in my free hit team. The next player is Chris Wood. He was in my wildcard draft as well. I think that the fixture is good for Nottingham Forest, and Chris Wood nailed on and on penalties. I think that Nottingham Forest can do well against Burnley in game week 5. The last player is Mateta. No Joao Pedro in this team playing against Man United. I think that Mateta edges it in game week 5 when it comes to a free hit draft. So playing against West Ham. West Ham, they looked really poor in game week 1, game week 2. They did well in game week 3, but they really struggled in game week 4 as well. So I think that Crystal Palace have a really good fixture playing against West Ham in game week 5. Please let me know what you think about this team in the comments down below. Subscribe to the channel for more FPL content. Thanks for watching.